Hello, hello everyone. I am here invited for the Missouri Botanical Garden by Colombian, and I am director and science of the corporation called Tree. This is a Colombian corporation. We was created in 2016, and we are an NGO created to conserve the forest in Colombia and monitor the forest. Our focus is principal monitoring performance in the Andean mountains and conservation restoration ecosystems, especially for the Andean ecosystems in Colombia. We have few experiences with many company and institutions in Colombia. We have local scientific support for the universities in Caribbean, in the Andeans, and so many regions across our country. But also we have institutional support from the local institutional support, and we are international support specialists in UK. We have projects that is right now working in that country. And we're working also with the local person to do conservation and restoration and knowledge about the forest and especially for the trees. So it's, I think for everyone and for us, it's important to know that there's many areas that are important to conservation, and so the areas are looking for that area and represents more or less 40% of the areas are important to conserve the forest that we have right now. But in the other way, in that area, there's so many people to live there, and we need to do some projects with the people in that areas. For the reason, it's important to do projects that is combining the science, the institution, and also the people in the local areas. I'm going to talking about for the mountain Andeans because I had more experiences in those regions and those ecosystems. The one important thing is also know the Andean forest, and I think all the tropical forests are just important for us because it's a hotspot of biodiversity. And it's a hotspot of biodiversity. All the forests in the tropical, but especially in South American, Central American, and of course, the Andean forest is the principal hotspot of the biodiversity. For this reason, I think that region is important to know in the conservation and also restoration and all the projects in order to conserve the biodiversity of these forests. Colombia is one of the more important country around the South America for the vascular plant and of course for the tree species. You know, the temperature increases. All the models now is really confident that this temperature for these centuries could be more than 4 degrees in across all the years, and the tree will be in the future need to know adaptation about this condition, especially for the temperature. Then another variability also know the precipitation will be changed. They need to realize how these new conditions are important to know for the future of our forest. So we now have some knowledge about how the tree can respond of these conditions. Many researchers understand how the trees can respond in front of the new condition in the climate change. And we know now that, for example, some species are increasing the population, but I saw. We know now that some species are increasing the population across the mountain, and that species is the species that have the optimal temperature higher than the other species have the optimal temperature is could be we can call the some species are adapted for the warm condition and another species is adapted for the cold condition, and these species are responding in different ways. The warm affiliation species are increasing the population, the individual, and could be growth up of the mountain, but the cold species is could be diet and reduce the population. So in our corporation, we now is try to understand how these species can respond for the temperature, how these species can grow and survive in a new condition, but also in the forest at the species level, because this is not now how the species can respond and which species is important for the future forest in relation for the restored project or could be for our forest in the future. So in that way, the corporation is looking for the trees, how the trees can live, how the trees could be dying, how the trees have grown. We have different projects that is involving many people, the local people, research, on air, so local people and researchers across the different projects in the Caribbean, in the Chocó forest, also in the Andean for the future population and the local science, for the person that is the owner in the local areas, and also the combining the different research that is coming to learn and understand how is the life of our trees in the forest. I'm going to focus in the Andean forest. The first is that we have one important topic for the know how the forest can respond on how is the knowledge about the trees is how the monitors place to understand these trees. In that way, we have permanent plots across all the Andean mountains. We are monitoring more or less to 5,000 trees and different species of our forests across all our country. We are focused in different mountains across all the area than the Colombia has I think, more huge mountain forests in the South America. So we are now learning some things about how are our seed in that forest. And for now, we consider we have many species in the trees, but some few species are the more dominant species. And that is similar like the hyperdominance in the Amazon, and it's confident and it's relative than just 5 or 6% of the tree species are dominant all the forests across the tropical Andean forest. And this is the species that they consider more or less the 50% of the all individuals in 1 hectare. It represents just for 5% or 6% in that forest. That means that we have many rare species, but also just a few species are the species that are involved in the carbon stock and what is the intervention of these forests represented in a few species. We have also in mountain areas monitoring projects and it's experimental project where we have close to the Medellin in one area, we have 3 places in a thermosequences temperature area where it's one place is the home place, then is we taking all the seeds and planting the 15 species. We planted 15 species in this place, and after we planted down in the 22 degrees, and after we planted the same species in 26 degrees. We are monitoring this is 3, 4, 5 years. We put irrigation all the time, and we changes the soils to control how is the fertilization of the soils and also the water, because the water is important for the trees, and just consider how the temperature responds for our trees. With this project, we have some findings or knowledge. The first It's similar than the other paper and represented for the forest. Is some species can survive in all the place. We can see here that 14 is the horn of the species, the high elevation place. 22 is the blue, this blue is the medium elevation place, and the red is the lowland elevation place, is the more hot place. There's just few species can survive. You can see here in the top, the only species can survive in the three place, and it's the species that had optimum temperature in the most high warming optimus. And the other species that we call cold affiliation species, that species is a different response of the world stream. That meaning is that, for example, some species than this in this genus or this species can survive in the 14, 60%, and the other species like this genus, excuse me, just surviving in the high elevation place, and the 8 degrees or 14 degrees can support for the future increase in temperature. The other project and we are live in the corporation is just a restoration project in the Andean mountains. That restoration project is close to the Medellin. We designed some areas to conserve, and we have four corridors across this area. This area is called San Nicolas. It's close to the international airport in Medellin. For the project, we select different species of these trees across our plots and what is the biodiversity in that area. And we select 63 tree species and planting many individual trees per hectare and combined in that relative percent of the community of these trees that has high percent of the species that are in primary succession and intermediate succession more less than the primary succession, and just few species that is endangered species to introduce. One of the more important thing I think so about the restoration project is have the quality of the sapling and reproduce the species that we need. So for this reason, in that project, we established the three nurseries to reproduce all the species. I think it's not only because in the commercial nursery it's difficult to find the species that maybe we need, but also the quality of the tree that we need to plant it. So for this reason, in that project, we reproduces all our trees in order to know and have the quality of the trees that we need to plant. In the areas, we go to all the place and just know what is the area and what is the area that we can select to restore that ecosystem, and it continues the reproduction of the forest. In some areas, we will say it's just, for example, the area to conserve the water, because I think that is important. No, it's not also because easily to do the restoration, but also because the people have the charismatic area to give for the restoration and conservation area. That is one example. We planted in 2006. And after 8 years, we have this area that is growth and is quite similar to the forest and is close of the restoration area. We use also the areas close to the rivers for the same reasons, and in that area we planted the same similar, and now we have these areas is growing in carbon and biodiversity. Also, we have more biophytic biomassa before than we planting is any species, the bryophyte species, and also the soil as growing. You can see, for example, here we can compare this area in 8 years, and it's totally different than the area when we planting that trees. For the future, we want to know, evaluate how the long-term successful restoration has grown for different methodologies than we can imagine, biodiversity, carbon interactions, all the methodologies that we can use it. Conservation, do the conservation around this place, bring the ongoing restoration of offer the knowledge about how we can restore. And I think that one important combination about the plots and the monitoring are important to have good quality in taxonomy, because that place are important for how is the lead of the trees. Like we need to know how is the species in that place, and sometimes the plot are difficult to collecting, but also it's important involve the taxonomy group that improve this identification. That is our project. For any question, you can find it in our website and on our email. And also we have Instagram, and we have some information about the trees and our project. And thank you so much.
I think we're still on time for at least one question.
I just want to say it would be interesting to see the comparison of those trees that you did the monitoring at different temperatures, the survival. With we have the climate assessment tool that was done by the Climate Alliance of Botanic Gardens, that it looks at trees, botanic gardens in different temperature scenarios. So it'll be interesting to see whether the model actually fits on the random of species. But I thought, well, the tool is out there for people to use it to see how your own trees in botanic gardens or any latitude and longitude would fare.
That is a project that we have experimental project and planting in 2019, and have 15 species, and we have really nice monitoring the trees. It's not only for the growth, survival, we're taking photosynthesis information, respiration. And right now, for example, we are doing how is the species response for the temperature, how change the temperature in the leaf, how is the flux across the branches, and everyone is welcome. And I don't know, you can compare, I had really nice experiences about how we can do the project in related when the temperature and any variability, and you can use it in any place. And also I know, for example, for your botanical garden, you have really nice plantation that we had the similar, like this project, because you're planting species across all the ecosystem. For example, than the Bogota Botanical Garden shows that the Tropicario, and also in the Missouri Botanical Garden has many species and possible uses in comparison to the acclimatization of the trees.
So thank you very much.